been asking for this interview for damn near a year. We have had like literally hundreds of people asking to have this person who I am about to introduce on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to clear the floor and welcome Miss Andi Marie to the Appalachian family. Welcome.
Hi, what's up?
We're so excited to have you on the show. People are going nuts for you, right? You are the hottest thing in Appalachia right now.
What?
Your platform is exploding. People love you. So we often just like to start with getting to know our guests a little bit better and getting to know their Appalachian background. So, Andi, who the hell are you?
Yeah, I ask myself that on the daily, sometimes on the hourly. Like, what vibe are we? What are we portraying today? Um, I don't know who I am. Okay, let's say I am an artist from East Tennessee, foothills area, more specifically Scott County, which is northwest of Knoxville. That's a funny thing is any kind of Appalachian setting, we have to just establish where we are. We in the foothills, or we're here, we're here. And so that's where I am geographically located. That's my origin story, geographically speaking. And growing up there, I would say that it, in some ways, some of my creativity could have been repressed, but if you look at it in another way, I think that it gave me an opportunity to think outside the box. Kids were always creating. We were doing our horror stories in the woods, but I was born to parents later in life, and I think that they were just ready to dote on somebody. And so when I decided at 12 years old that I wanted to go audition for a regional theater, and I knew at 6 years old, I was like, I want to be an actor. And I asked at 12 years old to go audition for a regional theater. They took me. And then I feel like from that point on, it was just kind of, that was my path. That I kind of, I hate to take all the glory for this. No, I don't. But I really did carve that out myself. I knew in my heart what I was meant to do, and so I just kind of grabbed my parents. I was like, "Please, please, please," and so they indulged me, and that's what I've been kind of doing ever since. And I've struggled and hit some things here and there, but that's I feel like that's a good summary in terms of where I am as an artist and where I'm located and stuff.
Are you in Nashville now? Is that right? Okay.
Yes. Yes, I live in Nashville. Now I visit, all my family is still back in Scott County. So I visit, and since my parents are older, I make it a point to visit a couple times a month. So it's just one of those uh things. I wish it was closer, because I really love Scott County, especially being like getting far enough away from it and then being able to realize how much you miss it. I mean,
Hmm.
I'd love to live there if there was industry there. And, who's to say it won't be like that in 5, 10 years? Things are growing, but just right now, this is where everything is located.
I totally understand that. I'm from West Virginia, and I moved away knowing that would have loved to stay, but there wasn't anything there for me at the time. I'm glad that you live in Nashville. It makes me really happy. I lived there for about 5 years up until more recently,
Do you like it?
I loved it. I mean, it's got its own quirks, and certainly it's got its own problems with growth, but it's such a unique city, and it's got its own personality to it, and I miss it so much. I really do.
I love the spirit of Nashville right now. I love my friends that I've made here. Like, there's a reason why they came here and they didn't stay in LA or New York.
Hmm.
And who knows? Maybe we're all just losers, and I'm delusional. Maybe this was our maybe second choice. But no, no. I joke. I really do feel like there is like when you feel like you're getting in on the grassroots of something, there's a different kind of energy instead of that hustle, trying to catch up with a movement that's already there. I mean, there's a resilience, there's an excitement that I feel when I get around my friends. That's like, it's gonna happen any day now. It's gonna happen for Nashville, but it is happening. It's not really a waiting for kind of thing, but that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Yeah. There is something really magical. My experience is not necessarily with the acting and theater side. I spent a lot of time in Nashville with my dad doing music.
You have a
Oh,
really
wow.
unique experience.
A very unique experience.
I want to hear. No, I got to hear about this. Tell me.
Oh, so
Fucking
my dad is
crazy.
my dad is a Grammy Award winning banjo player. So
Okay.
we spent like tons of
No big
time
deal.
in Nashville. I basically grew up backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. Like I asked
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom's favorite story to tell on me is that I had never gotten to sit out front, and I thought that was like I thought that I was like relegated to the back, because that the front was really where all the special people were. And so
Right.
even though like I got to meet people like Porter Wagner, Dolly Parton, like Clinton Black, like
Mm-hmm.
George Strait, all of these people. And I asked my mom one time, when are we gonna get to sit out with the normal people out there and watch dad play show?
We get to sit out with the and she's like, "That's for the plebeians,
Yes,
darling. Don't worry about
exactly.
those." Well, who
Yes.
was that? Now, who was like the coolest? Like, what's your favorite childhood story, backstage story? Would you say?
Oh gosh. I think I was not aware of my life at the time. But Johnny
You
Cash
never are.
called me a pretty little baby. So
Oh,
that's like pretty much peak. So
oh my God. Do you need to do anything else? Like, why
yeah,
haven't you
no,
just become a lush?
right.
You
I
know?
peaked as a baby, but Nashville is
Yeah.
wonderful. But so there are some folks here who may not know who you are. Um, so can you describe a little bit about your creative work and particularly your social media? Now, I know that you are so much more than that, but I feel like your social media is just where so many people have been introduced to you.
Well, thank you for indulging that artistic part of me that's like, I am so much more than anything anybody will know about. But okay, I'm gonna try to summarize it because I don't quite know myself. And I feel like that is the story for anything that any kind of person or movement that takes off via social media is it takes on its own life and you're like I'm figuring it out as y'all are, and there is some strategy to it. There's at least I think there's some kind of method to the madness, and I try. I have been promoting things on social media on a smaller scale for years now, Kelly, for years. Like when I first moved to Nashville, probably a little bit before that, because I had like a cover band and we did shows around town, and I would put on like an Instagram, or Facebook page. But when I first moved to Nashville, was doing music. I thought I was going to be a songwriter. And then I got kind of into theater. Like, my whole point is to say I've been doing this, but not had any success with it. But then I had so many friends that knew that like I did impressions, and I was a character actor, and that was really what I did most of my work in when I did regional theater and I did other community theater and short film and stuff. I was kind of more known for my character acting, and they were like, "Well, why don't you put some characters on TikTok?" And I was like, dude, at the time I was like, I'm 31 years old. Like, I don't need to be dicking around on TikTok with my old ass. And anyway, I thought it is not going to hurt anything, and it's fun. So I was doing stuff, not really having any success. So it was just like a fun way for me to make things on there because it had editing tools. And then one night, my husband is gone. I don't go with him to this dinner he's supposed to go to. And I had like been contemplating this Papaw character that I had in my mind. And I thought, I need him to meet like a friend. I was like, I want to try some of these green screen things because I never use green screen. So I thought, well, I'm going to put him in the Hardys. And this is just all happenstance, you know? And, and I just make that thing, have fun doing it, put it up, think 20, 100 people will see it. And then 2 days later, like 1.5 million people have seen that. Like, you know, this is my Papaw. This is blah, 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 blah. This is give this woman an Academy Award. And obviously my little ego is blowing up. But then also I will say I didn't have maybe the euphoria that I think a lot of people that are performers, like maybe I had a little bit of that, but I got kind of scared at first because I thought, oh no, like what does this mean? And I do love attention, but like, you know, I don't know. I just thought I don't really know what that means. But then I quickly learned that it don't mean a whole lot. I mean, it makes somebody laugh for a minute, but I don't feel like that stuff. I don't know. I have the Hollywood paradigm in my head. Like we grew up with Hollywood stars. You know, we're not 19 years old, so we don't think of somebody getting some fame on TikTok as much of anything. And I don't have all that much. But long story short, I just kept doing characters, and then I started doing like little monologues, and I think maybe the fact that people feel endeared to the accent, y'all probably understand that, like there's a warmth to it people can experience, like maybe somebody that's a little bit progressive with a southern accent makes them feel warm and safe inside. So yeah, I just thought I'm gonna follow this train and see where it goes. And what's weird is like I've been trying to get an agent for the last 3 years. I've had an amazing reel, all this kind of stuff, TikTok, and like getting some traction. I just signed with an agent a few months ago.
Oh, congrats.
Like, thank you. And like landed some commercial roles and just stuff that actually pays money has come from this. And so I think it's a net good, even though I'm 32 years old. Like I'm going to have some negative thoughts about social media because I don't know what it means yet, you know, but also I think that there are some good things I've seen come out of it. And I've met some lovely people through it. And yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I don't know.
That's wonderful. Again, congratulations on that. That's amazing. Do you draw your inspiration for some of your characters from family members and people that you know? And one of the reasons I ask, I mean, you mentioned the Papaw impression is so relatable. It hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, okay? And I had this very almost weird reaction to it because I was laughing, and then I started to get a little sad because it reminded me so much of my Papaw. Like, even the way that you walk in the video, he put his hands behind his back, look around. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this is it. And I was like, was this just everyone's Papaw? It blew my mind. And I realized, like, when you talk about that, you talk about accents. So much of, I think, the comfort comes from that ability to relate. And I think for me, when I left West Virginia, I didn't meet any other West Virginians. I moved to Michigan for law school. I didn't meet any other West Virginians. There literally was not any in my school that I went to. And it was so hard to relate to people, but you hear an accent, it just immediately brings you home and sends you on different emotions. So it's really cool. I know it kind of got a little off track with accents, but I'd love to know about like the inspiration that you gather, because I mean, so much of your characters are relatable. Like the woman in the church.
Oh my God, the aunt in the church that has the loud candy that is always singing a little bit off key.
Last to leave.
Yes.
Yes, honey.
That's the one that really got me.
I love all the comments that are like, this woman has undiagnosed ADHD. And it's like, yes, she does. And that is based off of, and I don't mind saying it's based off my Aunt Carletta and other women I know. It's not exactly her to a T, but it's like, that's kind of the rubric. And then I'll incorporate, like, I'll have an addendum here and there from somebody that I remember, just to make it more relatable to other people. But yes, these are all people that I know. It's it's kind of like Sling Blade. That to me is, I'm not comparing myself to Billy Bob. I'm saying I tell people, to me, that is maybe the most authentic movie ever made. And I know that's like uh that seems like I'm throwing a big, you know, uh thing out there, but I don't think anybody could do that had they not grown up in that. You know, he couldn't have he couldn't have completely transformed. You see that and you're like, that's Billy Bob Thornton? That's Carl Childers, you know? And it's because he was around those people. He knew those people on an intimate level. It wasn't something that he studied for 6 months. And don't get me wrong, like Daniel Day-Lewis does an incredible job. He's very immersive. He does these thick method acting, crazy things. But it's something like you have to know, I feel like, on a spiritual level. And when I say spiritual, I think I mean like having observed it so many times that it becomes like almost etched inside of your body. Like, to me, doing Papaw is so effortless. Like, I can feel him in my body. I know that sounds like I'm possessed, and I guess in a way I
I
am.
love it.
But I genuinely, that's why I love character acting so much. Is it really does feel like, since I don't go to church and I don't know what I believe anymore, it's like the closest I get to a divine thing where something else really feels like it takes over me. The thing that I wanted when I was a Pentecostal happens to me as a character actor, where I'm like, come on, send it to me. Come
I love
occupy
that.
me. You
I
know what I'm
love
saying?
that. And you can see that it is so authentic. And that's what I mean, when I talk about you to other people, because you're a hot topic, everybody says like that it's not just that they like recognize that you're playing a character that could be in a community. It's that they can point to a literal actual person with a name
Person.
in their life
Yeah.
that is that character or is
Yeah.
that Papaw.
Well, these are archetypes. These are our Appalachian archetypes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are it's a certain spirit. I don't know. I don't have more artistic words to use for that, but it really is like these things repeat themselves, you know? And
Yeah.
there's probably there's a little bit difference of a Midwestern Papaw, and somebody's got, their Italian Papaw, but these are like our Appalachian archetypes. And I just try to find that. But yeah, I love that. I love when people drop the name Aunt Patty,
Yes.
Aunt, Aunt Sarah, Aunt, Sheila or
It's
whatever.
perfect. So, but like the comedy that you do is made with so much love for the region, which is why I think it plays well. We've been made fun of 100 times. Like, I mean, more than that. Like we have been put through the ringer of people making jokes at our expense for not like a good purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
so you make jokes at our expense with so much love for the region. And so I like, where does that love come from? Is that from the way that you like the place that you grew up or your family? Like, where do you feel your love for Appalachia like really originates within you?
It's lovable. I think objectively there are many lovable things. There are many unlovable things, but dude, you'll find bigotry in the North. It just has a different accent. So like um I I have a lot of love for my family, but I really think as an artist, there's some kind of alchemy that happens. Like, even though I joke about trauma and stuff like that, and I do feel like I experienced a lot of that religiously. But I'm I have a curse of being able to see everyone's point of view, and I can't even try to hold a grudge against those people, because I know that they believe that they were doing what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
If I believed that one of y'all were going to hell right now, if I believed it with all of my, it would be wicked of me not to try to make you see another way, or make you come to light, or salvation, or whatever. So I have a little bit of the curse of seeing everybody's point of view, and I just have really good memories, and the mind has a beautiful way of turning of repressing all the bad shit, so that you can recontextualize and repaint the picture, like repaint memory to look beautiful. So I look on it and all I see is good. And the only time I really see bad is when I'm trying to write a song about it, and when I'm trying to really dig for it, trying to find meaning. But I just, maybe it's like, maybe it's like a gift that I've been given, just to really love all those people. And but like I said, maybe I shouldn't even qualify it, because they are lovable in a way. We've established that there's something lovable about them. Who doesn't love a character, you know? Even your toxic uncle, like, sometimes that shit is funny, you know.
Especially with like Appalachian characters, it makes it feel like an inside joke with people that you've never met, but that have that similarity to like where you grew up. And it's funny, Scott County, Tennessee is very different from Wood County or Haywood County. They're all very different, but yet like we can all find something to relate to each other, even though we've never met you. Callie and I have only met a couple times in person and didn't know each other before doing the show. And it's just really, I always find it really fascinating. And I think I didn't realize how relatable other parts of Appalachia were until like doing this podcast and seeing creators like you do those types of characters, because they are so real and evoke powerful memories for people. Not to like make it sound too serious, because I mean it's funny and it's like really incredible stuff, but like I think that's what makes it so good and so authentic.
I think that the fun thing about this social media thing has, if we choose to look at it this way, and I think we should, and we don't do it at our peril, we ignore it at our peril, is like, look at how similar we are. Like, look at how much overlap we have in our experiences as people, and for our specific thing as Appalachians. Like, we have so much we have so much in common. And I don't know, it just, like, if we choose to, it really opens up a new layer of seeing the humanity in folks. Or maybe I'm just making too much out, and it's all
Not
funny
not
shit
at
show.
all.
You're
It's
making a
both.
lot of
It's
sense.
It's
it's
both.
both. So, all right. Before we close out, let's turn to your other work. You are a singer-songwriter. You're Nosferatu sometimes. You
It's Nosferatu.
Yes, yes. You do a lot. And you do serious acting and you do ads. And so tell us about some of this other work, and what are your goals for, next year, next 5 years?
God, hun, I mean, well, I gotta keep working, because I gotta pay these bills, or my husband is gonna kick me out of this house if I don't pull my weight. Okay. My goals are this: things that I could write down on paper. We're not talking about existential goals, because that's always in flux. We know that. Like, I want to come up with a variety show. By the way, I guess we're all gonna. I don't know if we're allowed to announce that Appalachia Fest. We're both gonna be at it. So, um, like I want to write a variety show that I could take to different places where a few characters can show up, some music interspersed, and it's going to be a little surrealist, right? It's going to be a little out there. And then having some stand up. So that's kind of, I want to have it wouldn't be a multi-medium, but like a multi-talented, multifaceted uh little variety show that I can take and tour around, because too many people I've reached out and been like, "Are you coming around?" I'm like, "I'm not a stand-up." That's the thing, is I'm not a comic. I feel honored that people are calling me a comedian. I don't even call myself that. But I want to bring comedy and art to people in whatever way I can, and I feel like this would be the best way. So I want to write that out. I want it to be like a half hour, 45-minute set. I want to get this album out that I wrote 2 years ago and I recorded last year, and just, I don't know if I didn't have the balls to finish it. I don't know what I did, but I want to release that in whatever effective way. Let it do what it's going to do. And I've written a whole bunch more stuff, so I plan to record that. And I want to act. I want to act in everything. I want to be all the characters. But pertinent to this conversation, I want to be a part of films that are being made in Appalachia with that as the subtext. But I want to be in some art house films about Appalachia. Like, I want it to be heady. I want it to be out there. I want people to go, "What the fuck?" when they walk away, but feel something and feel like a certain mysticism and intrigue. So that can get a little existential, but I think it's something I can write. I want to be in an art house film about Appalachia.
We just need to connect you with our friends at Appalachian Queer Film Festival. And
what?
Yes,
Please get specific. Yes.
We just
we interviewed them a few days ago, actually. How can people support your work? Like, there are a lot of us out there who want to see you succeed, want to see you win Academy Awards and represent the region. And so what can we do if we believe in you? What can we do to support you?
Well, right now, my main push, I think, is to get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I will be releasing all the long form content that I make, which includes long form skits, which includes podcasts, but will also include theatrical bits and all that kind of stuff. So if you go, but this is on YouTube, this is on TikTok, this is on Instagram. It's Andi Marie Ree. So that's ANDIMARIERE. And Marie Ree is just what they would call me when I was a little girl. I mean, it doesn't really have that much of a ring. I don't know why I've kept it. I kind of regret it, but at this point, it's just too late to change it. But that, and also would love for you to follow Andi Marie on Spotify, because in the next month I will be releasing a ton of music. And I would, if you have artistic projects, I guess it's here. Please send an email to me. It's Andi Tillman, all one word, all lowercase, at iCloud.com. And if it's cool, I'll follow up. And if it's not, well, shit. It went to junk.
Amazing.
But please, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for doing this with me today. I feel like we're Appalachian fam,
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll stay in touch. Please. It's always great to meet people who are doing the same kind of work, who care about the same stuff, even if we're in different mediums, And so thank you so much for coming on the show today. I think people are going to be just so thrilled to get to know you better, and to be able to support you even more.
Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. It's so fun to meet you guys.